Hey everyone, Emily here and welcome to my kitchen. It's been a while since I've posted. I had my baby back in December and now I'm kind of getting into a little bit of routine where I feel like I have a little bit more time and a little bit more energy to get back to making these videos and hopefully posting on a more regular basis. Now, that being said, I don't have as much time as I used to, so I'm always looking for really easy, really quick, and tasty recipes that I can throw together in the evening or in between nap times. And I think this one kind of checks all the boxes. I've made this before on my own, salmon rice bowls. I make that all the time, but I saw a different variation on TikTok that I really wanted to try out. And this one has kind of a crispy rice base that I think is going to make it just a little bit more interesting and hopefully a little bit more flavorful. So I'm excited to give it a try and see how it turns out. Let's get started. So with this being a rice bowl, the base of this is of course rice. And I went ahead and cooked a cup of basmati rice. You can use whatever kind of rice you want. I just prefer the texture of that. And it is fresh from the rice cooker. A couple of places say that you have better results with the crispy rice if you let it cool and then cook it in the oven. But I don't want to wait for it to cool, so we're just going to try it like this. I am going to add in probably about 2 teaspoons of some garlic chili crunch oil, and that is going to flavor the rice and also add in a little bit of oil to kind of help crisp it up. If you don't want it to be spicy, I would definitely just use regular oil for this and maybe add in some different seasonings that you like, because this is going to make it a little bit on the spicy side. And I'm just gonna mix that into the rice. Now, if you have parchment paper, I would definitely use parchment paper, but I just ran out, so I am going to oil a baking sheet that I lined with foil so that I don't get a ton of rice sticking to my baking sheet. And then I'm gonna put this in a pretty even layer over the sheet. I'm gonna put this on the oiled section. I'm using a pretty large baking sheet because I'm also going to cook my salmon on here. So I wanna have a little bit of space left over for that. I have made these rice bowls before with smoked salmon and it was really good, but I figured since I am using the oven anyway for the rice, I might as well cook a salmon fillet. So I have a little cedar plank salmon. You can do whatever you want, and I'm just gonna season this up before I pop it in the oven. I'm just going to add a little bit of salt and pepper and a little shake of garlic powder over the top. And that's it. This is ready for the oven. I'm going to put this in a 375-degree oven for 30 minutes or so. And I'm gonna check on the rice about halfway through and maybe give it a little toss to make sure it kind of crisps up evenly. While that's in the oven, I'm gonna work on my toppings for the salmon bowl. And I'm going to use cucumber and edamame. You could put in whatever you want, maybe some avocado, that would be really good. But this is what I'm using today. So I'm going to take about half of a cucumber, because this is gonna make like 2 or 3 bowls, and I'm going to give that a little dice. So I'm going to cut it lengthwise, and then cut those lengthwise as well, and then chop right across that, and that'll give me some nice little pieces for the bowl. And then I'll just set that off to the side. And then for the edamame, unfortunately, I already had some in the pod in my freezer. So that means I'm going to have to take them out of their shells. So I'm going to pop this into a bowl, microwave that to steam them. You could steam them on the stove, and then they're gonna be really easy to pop out. So this is what the edamame look like in their pods. If you can find them without the pods, without the shells in the freezer section, that would be even easier for this particular recipe. But once you steam them, they are super easy to pop right out. You just kind of give them a squeeze right along the seam and it'll pop open like that. And then the little edamame will just come right out. So I'm just gonna do that with this whole bowl. And by the time I'm done, it'll be just about time to check on the rice and see how it's crisping up. So I'm about halfway through or so with my cooking time. And the rice coming along pretty well. Doesn't look super crispy just yet, but I can tell that it's starting to dry out a little bit. There are a couple of spots that are getting a little bit on the crispy side, so I think it's starting to work. So I'm just gonna give that a toss, kind of let some of the steam out, and put this back in the oven for another 15 minutes or so and let the salmon finish cooking. All right, it's been about 30 minutes and as you can see, the rice is looking pretty good. I can tell there are some crispy areas. I don't think it's gone completely crispy, but I honestly think it might be better that way. And my salmon is done. So I am going to build my bowl and give this a try. I'll get a pretty good couple scoops of the rice. The rice on the edges has definitely gotten a little bit crispier compared to everything in the middle. And I kind of think it's probably going to be best somewhere in the middle like this, so it's not completely crunchy the entire time that you're eating this. Now on top of this, I'm going to add in some of my shelled edamame, a nice handful of cucumber, and then about half of my salmon. And I'm going to kind of flake this a little bit so it's not just in one chunk. This is already looking really good, but I am gonna add on just a couple more toppings. I'll do a drizzle of Sriracha mayo over the top. And just for a little bit more spice, I'm going to add in just a little bit more of the chili crunch oil. This looks so good, so let's give it a try and see how it came out. So I'm gonna give this a mix, kind of get a little bit of everything here. I have some salmon, a little bit of the cucumber, some edamame. So let's see. That's definitely really good. And there is a little bit of a crunch to the rice. I think I definitely could have cooked the rice a little bit longer to make it more crunchy, but I think kind of the level that 30 minutes gives is kind of a good amount of crunch. I don't want it to be super crunchy for like a whole rice bowl. I think that might be a lot, but it adds a little something, and just kind of seasoning the rice with the chili oil, I think that was a good call. It's really good. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, don't forget to hit subscribe and the bell icon so you can get notified every time I post. As always, you can find the full recipe to this down in the description box below, along with links to all my social media pages so you can follow along for more cooking content. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, go ahead and click the playlist off to the side. See you back here next time.